so far, at least from what I've played, it's a very fun experience. Much better driving than I expected, again, considering... Oh no, he's gonna beat me! Get out of the way! I did it again! What's wrong with me? Hello there! This is DBT, and these are the rooms. And alright, it's finally time to play the Crew Motorfest. Oh yeah, baby! Finally, it's out. Well, technically it's not out for everybody. It is out for people who pre-ordered the game, like myself. We got like a 3-day head start or something, I suppose. And for everybody else that didn't pre-order it, the game is gonna unlock on September the 14th. But yes, pre-ordered it, so now I am able to play it, and oh my god, I've been having some fun. So, disclaimer, this is not the very first time that I'm playing it by the time when I'm recording this video. Actually, by now, I already did like a 3-hour live stream of me playing this game from the very beginning. So if you're interested in seeing the real-time reactions, or rather, how I reacted to everything that was happening in the game, me learning how to play the game, because there was definitely, and there's still a learning curve and whatnot, go ahead and check that VOD. I'll leave the link in the top right about now so that you can check the entire 3-hour stream if you feel like doing that. But what we're gonna do in this video is actually replay some of what I did play in that stream. The idea of repeating the race is mostly to play a little bit of what I already know how to play. Maybe not great, maybe not amazingly, but at least I know a little better what I'm doing this time. So my interest over here was to show you a tiny bit of the navigation of the world. Because you can see on the top of the road there's this yellow line, which is actually what's telling me where to go. Now, when I was playing this on stream, I had a bit of an issue where I would get this yellow line in the world, but it wouldn't actually show in the map. And I thought that that was an absolute horrible design decision, but now I realize that it was probably some sort of a bug, because now I do see the line on the world, on the map, so hey. And as I'm driving around here, also worth mentioning, man, the colors in this game are absolutely crazy. One thing that bothered me quite a bit on Forza Horizon 5 was that the colors felt very often very muted, and over here it's completely the opposite thing. Super saturation, and I'm here for it. And very reminiscent of Need for Speed Heat, we got this animation when the race is about to start, and I actually like it because you get to see your car from different angles. It's kind of dope. I definitely enjoy it. I'm driving the Mustang GT Fastback, I think that's what it said that it was called. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this game itself and the driving, because if you have played The Crew 2, then this game, while it is obviously on the same franchise, The Crew, it doesn't feel at all like The Crew 2. To me, the driving always felt off. I don't know exactly what it is, but there was something off about the driving in this game, and I don't know, it never felt very responsive until I played it with that wheel. When I was playing with the controller, then that's when I wasn't having a ton of fun. But once I plugged in a wheel, then suddenly the game felt so much better. So I don't know what to make of that. The one thing I can probably say about the physics of the Crew 2 is that the cars were very, very, very grippy, which was very fun, obviously, to take corners and all that, because you're always planted on the floor. This game, however, is completely the opposite. It is not difficult to lose control of your car. By the way, I should probably mention that I'm playing basically with most of the assists off. I don't have traction control on, I don't have whatever else. Actually, I'll tell you later exactly what I have on and what I have off. But yeah, by turning off a lot of those assists, the game definitely feels really good. And this is not something that I discovered myself. This is something that I saw someone talking about, like, hey, you want to play this game, you want to enjoy it, you want to feel different physics, something that feels ever so slightly more realistic than the Crew 2, or simply a bit more pleasant. Oh, look at that, talking about losing control. Ah! And there's a rewind system, so I'm going to have to use that over here. That was a perfect example of losing control of the car, and indeed, that's something that can happen if you're not careful how you're driving. And man, that's why I said that this needed an adjustment period.
Dude, you got it. These cars are meant to roam wild. That's what this playlist is all about.
Look at that, now it's getting late in the game and the lighting changes. Ah, Jesus Christ, the cars hit me and all of that stuff. Man, this is a very beautiful looking map. Or world, I guess I should say. So now we're doing drag racing, and I wanted to show you this because this is definitely a mode that caught me a little bit by surprise in this game in a good way. Now, I should probably say that drag racing is something that I have never enjoyed in a game like Forza Horizon 5. I never enjoyed it. It was super simplistic because I play on automatic, not on manual. Basically, when the race starts in that game, you just gotta hold the throttle and that's it. 10 seconds later, you're done with the race. But over here, it doesn't work like this. First, you need to warm up the tires, and that is by doing a little bit of burnout over here, put it on the green spot, and then after that, the actual race will begin, and I do have to make the shifts myself. You can see over there, I'm doing all of these shifts myself, and then of course you also have some nitro, which, funny story, I didn't realize that you had nitro for quite a while on the stream. I kept on losing these races over and over until someone was like, hey DVT, why don't you use the nitro? And I'm like, oh, maybe that could help, right? So while it is still not my favorite game mode to play, it's very short and, I don't know, not my thing. Definitely, it's more entertaining than, as I said, oh Jesus, that was kind of terrible. In Forza Horizon 5, man, that was, drag race is something that I do not like, I do not enjoy. But over here, pretty good, pretty good.
Let's do it again.
All right, and I think you have to do 3 runs on this, so one more. All right, we got it on the green spot. Good, good. And a little bit of shifting. I'm telling you, this is actually... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Ah! Don't mind me using a little bit of the brake. It's all good. Oh, I missed that one. Well, I did 2 good and the last one was bad. I think that's enough to still pass the event. I think. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And by the way, yes, that is my avatar. I actually edited her a bit more than what I did on the stream, because on the stream I did some customization, but I didn't like it. So I kept looking for options, and now that's what my female avatar looks like, because you know, I do female avatars. And seriously, just looking at the world at night, it really makes a huge difference. It's really obvious, because a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but I've seen some people talking about how this game was just basically an expansion to the Crew 2, and it's like, no, this is not. You can tell that this is either a different engine or an incredibly improved engine. And again, the physics of the driving feels so much better. The graphics are also very, very good. The lighting is really, really, really good compared to the Crew 2. I would say that the Crew 2 looked a bit strange, kind of plastic. This one looks much better, and holy moly, I hate those cars that you end up going through. They're so distracting. And now, here's another race again, still with Mustangs. It's still the same playlist, by the way. But now we're going full off-road, and I wanted to show you this race off-road because that's another thing that I've talked to crazy length about Forza Horizon 5. And I'm sorry that I keep on bringing Forza Horizon 5, but it makes sense. It's the game that kind of compares a lot to, or the game that this kind of took all the inspiration from. I don't know, call it whatever you want. But anyway, so in Forza Horizon 5, I've said in other racing games in general that I don't like off-roading. I don't have fun with off-roading. And especially in Forza Horizon, it's very annoying because in any weird terrain, anytime that you do a tiny jump, you lose control of the car, which is, well, sort of realistic, right? It's not like you can steer your car mid-air in real life or anything. But in a game where jumps are gonna be part of the gameplay, just messing up the jump because you were half a degree turning a bit too much to the left by 0.5 degrees and you lose, and your landing is absolutely garbage, is really frustrating. However, this game does allow you to control a little bit the direction on how you're landing, which helps, well, your landing. And that alone makes such a huge difference for me in terms of playing something else that isn't road racing. I like road racing because obviously keeping the grip and doing a decent racing line and whatnot. Oh Jesus, I lost control of my car. Okay, let's pretend that I didn't use the skill issue button and I did it again. What's wrong with me? All right, so never done this before. This is the first time me doing this turn. Look at that, I did it good. No, I still messed up. What's wrong with... So apparently it does matter to control your throttle and your brake. And this is exactly what I meant to talk about in general. How the overall driving in this game is much more what I would expect, again, from that game that I've been mentioning a lot, Forza Horizon 5. Now, this is not exactly comparable because this still feels much more arcade than Forza Horizon 5. But over here, you do need to follow better racing lines, make use of your brake, try to keep the grip, control all of that stuff. And honestly, this seemed to be like the middle point between the absolute nonsense of arcade racing in something like Need for Speed and the more slightly realistic approach of Forza Horizon 5. This seems to be a middle point, and I'm really enjoying it. I need to at least finish third place. I finally got into third place, but oh boy, this is... You can tell that this is definitely not my comfort zone. This is not exactly what I like doing, but again, I'm having some fun with these off-road races, so that's kind of dope. And just look at the colors on this entire place, the graphics, the sun. And by the way, I am recording this at medium graphics. My computer can handle higher graphics, but if I'm only playing, if I'm recording, then I do need to lower this so that my computer doesn't explode. So I had made a point on talking about that yellow line at the top, precisely to differentiate the fact that that line is just for navigation, while when you are in race, you actually have a racing line where it tells you, you know, braking zones and, you know, all of that, the racing line itself. That is kind of interesting because, again, that's another thing that the Crew 2 did not have. It did have this type of navigation, and even in race, you had this same type of line, but it wasn't a proper racing line. Now we have it over here, which again, demonstrate the bigger emphasis on, you know, a more realistic type of driving where you gotta be braking, you gotta, you know, make use of the smart throttle and smart braking or whatever you want to call it. And precisely to demonstrate the racing line and whatnot, how about we do this race with this fancy looking thing with a big wing. Oh yeah, baby, I love it, I love it. Now, all of these cars that I've been driving, except when I'm just navigating in the world, all of these cars are borrowed. I don't own these cars. These are obviously part of the playlist, so the game is like, oh, okay, you can use this car, but you don't get to keep them. Although, once you actually finish the playlist, you do get a fancy car that I will show you in a little bit. Here's a pro tip: don't go into the grass. You lose a ton, but you lose your grip and your car suddenly flips. So, just saying, spins, not flips. And I don't think I really even spoken or talked about the vroomy noises in this game. Now, I will say that they do a much better job at putting them to be audible, you know. I've complained a lot about how Need for Speed did a terrible job at it. And some of the racing games in general, I cannot understand why they make the vroomy noises quiet. That's very annoying. But over here, it's not quiet, but it could be better. So I did tweak at the end of the day a bunch of settings in order to make it much more audible and make everything else like the music and the general sound effects and the UI and all of that quieter, because hey, I want to listen to the vrooms, you know, just saying. Now, I'm not gonna say that this is the optimal way of playing this game with my difficulty settings. In fact, right now I am playing it on medium difficulty, though on stream I've been playing it on a harder difficulty. But in terms of assists and all of this, I'll show you in a little bit. But seriously, turning off the majority of the assist made the driving experience in this game so much more involved without being overwhelming. And man, that is precisely the point where I think I have the most fun, where you need to put a bit of brain into, well, you actually need to brake, you need to control your throttle and all of that, without making it, you know, too obnoxious as to, oh no, you missed the turn by this many degrees, and, you know, not that level of craziness. So I guess you can tell by the fact that I'm not cursing on this game and saying how much I hate this and I hate that I am actually having a lot of fun with it. I think it's so far, at least from what I've played, it's a very fun experience. Much better driving than I expected, again, considering, oh no, he's gonna beat me, get out of the way! Oh, stolen! Woo! Yeah, compared to the Crew 2, the driving over here, it's a completely different beast, and man, it is fun. And now this car I actually do get to keep, and that is by finishing the entirety of the playlist. Now that race that I just did is not the last race, that's actually the second to last race. There's yet another one, but I'm not gonna show it to you. Again, if you want to see the entirety of the gameplay without any edits, just basically how it happened, again, watch the, oh my god, watch that stream that it's unlisted on my channel, but it's definitely accessible if you have the link. So why don't you check it out if you want to see every single bit of what happened on my very first session. But as I am releasing this video, I am going live already, so that means that if you want to watch everything in real time as I play some, probably I'm gonna play the Lamborghini playlist. Yeah, jump in, watch it, we can chat and all of that good stuff. I did want to show you my difficulty settings. So over here, the event difficulty, I have it at 3 out of 5. In the stream, I'm doing 4 out of 5 because obviously I get to repeat and retry a bunch of times over there. Guidance, racing line, auto braking off, auto steering off. I do keep the rewind on just in case, although it's not always super useful, but still, we got nitro. And then we also have traction control off, makes it really fun. ABS, that one I did keep on. I think that's the only one that the only proper assistance that I kept on. Traction control off, ESP off, which is electronic stability program, which apparently makes it so that you stay on the road more often. But I think that is one of the things that really annoyed me in the Crew 2, that it made the car kind of weird, react to weird when I was trying to counter steer and whatnot. And drift assist also off, counter steering assist off, and airplane handling assist on, but I haven't driven one, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. So there you have it. That is the Crew Motorfest. Now I will continue making some more videos on this game, but if you enjoyed this one, why don't you hit the like button? Let me know if you're interested in watching more content on this game, edited in this form so that, you know, it's a bit more concentrated. But again, if you want to watch the entire thing, well, you can watch the streams that I've been doing. I'll put them on a playlist if you really want to watch every single minute of the gameplay, because, oh boy, I plan to play this quite a bit. But that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, again, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. And I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody, and stay safe. Bye-bye.